Hi, welcome back to the channel. We're about to go right into this moment, this now viral moment where Will Smith literally strikes at Chris Rock, which occurred at the Oscars last night. If you're a YouTuber, you had to have seen several content creators covering this. I want to add my commentary, but first I want to show you the clip just in case you haven't seen it.
The hardest job tonight, Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. Get my name out your fucking mouth. Wow, dude. Yeah. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I'm going to, okay? Oh, okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
I agree. So while the internet chooses to focus on that one moment where Will obviously reacts to Chris's semblance of a joke, right? Referring to Jada's haircut or hairdo. However light, however innocent the joke might have been, because I do hear the internet going on and on about how it was just a joke. Oh, well, he's a comedian, right? And they're really just honing on the moment that Will reacts. Now, Will's a human being, okay? I consider them both human beings. I understand people hold celebrities to the highest, standard. We put them on a pedestal and say they're public figures, but these people haven't run for office. They're not your presidents. They're not your kings and queens, right? Or they're not God, and we make them into objects to be worshipped. And so when someone like Will, right, strikes at someone or reacts because someone decided to use his wife or to use the woman that he's with as the butt of a joke, however light, it was still public, it was still the Oscars, and they felt at liberty to once again throw a jab at Jada. Now, the Oscars wasn't the first time this happened, which is why, it behooves me that the internet forgets that. The internet forgets about the year or two, actually the last 4 years these two have had. Okay? And how even though they publicly resolved what normally would be seen as a very private issue, okay, they pretty much opened their private doors to resolve this, okay, in front of the public, so we could understand that they were moving past having been separated for a while, even though the public did not know, okay, and there having been a third party, and whatever occurred with him, her, and the gentleman, the artist that they mentioned. I'm not even going to go into it, okay? The entire internet has already done that a million times. We know what they went through. We know where they've been. The point is they resolved it, right, for us to see, and made it pretty clear that they're moving on, okay? It was actually quite a human moment, and it showed people that even though you're a celeb, even though you're in the limelight, you didn't go through the same stuff, especially as a couple, as regular people, or even more. And they had a few messes in their relationship, in their marriage. But they were quite open about it. But despite that, the internet took it upon themselves to fixate on Jada continuously, weeks and months after all of that had happened. Right? Just taking her name at liberty. I've seen it. There's at least 12 different videos, at least, bringing back up the issues, making the focus her, calling her every name in the book and the Bible. Okay? and just dragging it around left, right, front, and center. The internet did that. And somehow we want to just act so surprised and so shocked that we'll decide it actually stands up for her. She sat there eloquently and said nothing. We want to say it was fake, it was staged, it wasn't real, he's such an actor, he's a smackter. We want to say everything else. Except finally, someone is coming to the defense and trying to protect a woman's name. Even before we look at his wife, even before we look at the fact that they're in a relationship. Let's be honest, the last 2 years, even though we're in a pandemic, too many of us have tripled in toxicity. Too many of us have focused on just let's pick on the weakest link. Let's talk about people's hair irrelevantly, or what type of women are more beautiful or more exotic than others, and what women don't have hair. Let's be honest. This is about more than just the Oscars, about one night that we pretend was so outrageous. People did to Jada what they did to most minority women. And let us pick on them, because in this society, in the hierarchy of status, this society feels like minority women, specifically women of color, are the weakest link. And so we pick on what we perceive as the weakest link. We do it so much, it's become so trendy that it's turned into a norm. Such a norm that when someone steps out of that and actually says, listen, this woman is not public domain. No woman is public domain. While people were dying left and right, all we wanted to do was pit different and measure different women against each other, divide and conquer. This one's got this hair, that hair. This one's this complexion, that complexion. This woman is sexier. These women don't have good credit. These women are masculine. It became comedic and redundant. And obviously, the focus was mostly women of color. We can pretend all day long and every day that it wasn't, and that this is just about, right, one outburst that Will makes during an Oscars. Whoopee, the man doesn't care. How do we know he wasn't sick and tired of being sick and tired of folks just liberally attacking the woman in his life at any turn? Or how many times she complained about it, or what the issues they were having behind the scenes were about letting it go on and on and on and on and on. The address that he made during the Oscars, the speech that he made, I found speaks to this and made it quite clear what his intentions were. Very crystal clear, yet so many of us pretend to be confused. Let's play that clip. And I mean, at this point, after hearing that, you know, let he and she with ears to hear simply understand what he's talking about. Right? I'm not going to sit here and lecture grown people, okay? But I am going to put in my commentary that what happened at the Oscars was about time. Like, it was about time. It was refreshing to see someone finally stand up for the woman that they're with, as opposed to see all this slander and just let it slide like it ain't nothing, and allow all this toxicity to become the norm, whether it was this couple or any other couple. We rarely see that. And perhaps that's why we were all so shocked. Someone actually defended, like, his woman, like, regardless, even though she wasn't, like, of an exotic race. Oh my God. Right? We don't mind seeing twerking. We don't mind seeing over-sexualized images of minority women. But when someone stands up for one of our honor, suddenly we're just shocked and shaken. It had to be fake. They're just actors. Right. I'm not buying that. I think that he was very human in what he did, emotional or not. Humans get emotional. And it was about way more than one night. You guys targeted and attacked Jada one too many times, and the guy checked you guys for it. And he didn't care that it was in public. He didn't care that he was on stage. He's had a great career, and I don't think he cares. It was family over fame for him, at least for that night. Obviously, they're quite imperfect. We all know all of that. But I'm pulling out the positive. I like seeing men protect their women's name. Especially in this community. I think it's, there's a drought in that department. And I hope this was a loud message, to content creators, YouTubers, and that anyone that feels at liberty to just over scrutinize any woman. Especially without her asking you or opening the door for you to do that. But that's another conversation. Like a burning fire. I mean, at the end of the day, these two, despite all they have and all they've done, are very, very human. Okay, perfectly imperfect, just like the rest of us. And that's a good thing. Okay, the fact that we hold them to the highest standard and esteem and practically worship these people is our fault. I never heard, any one of them asked us to do that. And even if they did, you got to be responsible for who you're putting on a pedestal. I don't see anything unusual about a guy sticking up for the person that he's with, the woman that he quote unquote loves, his wife. However they call themselves, however they define their marriage, that would be their decision and their lifestyle. But what social media has done is given us this strange idea that what we think about what other people do in their lives actually matters. One, it doesn't. Your life is yours to live. Mine is my own. I'm personally digging, the bald hair that Jada rocks anyway. I think it's awesome. I like to see it generally. Okay. No, I don't think Chris meant any harm. But again, this is about beyond just one night. I think that people have been fixated on being toxic towards people, namely and specifically minority women. Everyone knows that. We can pretend that that wasn't the real issue. Okay. But if this was their way of taking their power back, I'm all for it. Guys, it's been real. It's been a blast doing this video. Of course, your commentary and your input matters. Okay, what you have to say matters. But as far as our communication, this is a healing space. All things healing, okay? Elevation. We're in a very important time on the planet right now, okay? I created this space to be a healing and creative space and everything in between. As far as all this toxicity, we don't do that here. There's plenty of channels y'all can run to for that. Okay, we're elevating, okay? And we're leaving here better than we came. Peace and blessings. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.